Whoop. Today I am going to show you why we at Post Tensioning Solutions stopped using the king wire. One of the things we're doing today is building a mock-up for testing pulling strand through. All right, tell us what we're doing.
So, we've created a form to do a parabolic, some type of curve. But right now we're just mixing concrete.
Almost like you planned it. We're gonna pull a king wire through our mock-up that we built yesterday, and we're gonna see here how it comes out, because quite often I see the sheathing get shredded on its way out because of the way the wire goes through, and I'll show you that here in a minute. One of the big reasons why is starters. There was a job we went out to where they pulled the king wire through. They had drilled through the sheathing, and the outside wire ended up getting in between the sheathing and the concrete, and then ripped the sheathing for a while and just slid down. But one of the big issues I have here, and why we stopped, is as the makes its transition, you can see how it'll pull these apart. So we're gonna pull the king wire through and show you what happens. A day in the shop when we've got nothing to do, right? Let's go ahead and hop in there in the forklift. I'll hold that. And I want you to film here towards the outside when it's coming out, because what I want to see is if the sheathing, how bad the sheathing ends up tearing. When we've gone out to those jobs, one of the biggest issues we've seen is they use a crane or a forklift or something like that, and there's absolutely no way to judge if it got caught. So one of the reasons we use equipment is so that we can monitor a change in forces as we're getting the cable in, and that way we know that we're not catching anything, or something happens, we know relatively pretty, like right as it's happening, you can see the change. Whoop. Back up a little. Okay. Just keep going. Oh. Stop. So you get some, and we don't have very much of a transition. So, see, that's part of the problem I have, and I know it gets worse as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the transition and the way it's done. I mean, the problem is I've never seen anybody who will grind these down enough on the outside, and if you get it right, it'll, I mean, you've seen it where it's this, but times 100, but we're also a quarter of the distance. If that, I mean, we're super short, so it would have a bunch of transitions that it goes over, so this would be a lot more. Yeah.
Still a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that, you add the distance and put more of that all the way down the whole thing, it just, I don't know, it's a risk we're not gonna take here.
What's up?
So what do you think about
pulling it with the crane?
About the test we just did? Like, what's your feeling here?
The feeling is that I think it should be done more on a job, but we're not gonna do it because first time I've actually pulled a king through, or a king wire through like this, just as a mock-up. But out on the field, you do see a lot of the sheathing being torn. We spent a lot of time, weatherproofing the sheathing. So it's a big bucking deal. Around the anchors, around the highs, the lows. I mean, you see all sorts of stuff. You see duct tape, you see foam. Yeah, and there's a lot of forces with this. You can literally weld that tip, and with as much force, you can literally push that king wire through where it gets jammed up on the other side. So, yeah. I mean, hopefully, it would have been nice if we had a longer span and, more profiles, highs, lows, head steel transitions, and then that's when you see all sorts of shit. Excuse the language. It's not the proper language. But
it is true. I would say
it is
that
true. It's
the transitions make a big difference.
I mean,
don't
we
they?
know the damages that improper pushing or pulling does to the sheathing. It's definitely worth putting more time to see what happens. Like, so yeah, I mean, it is nice to have a little bit of time and do our mock-ups. As you can see, our little beam turned out nice. A lot of our pores they're looking a little better, but yeah. All right, 6 bags of concrete, little fire. Maybe we'll put a gas pipe through it, drill some holes on top, have fire coming out.
For our next trick.
For our next trick. Why not, right? We're always learning something.
Right?
That would be pretty cool.